Here are some more interesting media impacts. Prophet Hanna inside The Walking Dead. So first of all, there's the prison scene. That one's very, very important because those things happened in Kingston Penitentiary, eastern corridor of where the War of U River took place. That is right at the border between Canada and the United States. That's the prison scene replicated. Then, when we think of the names, they are all very selectively picked. Now, in the story of Hanna, there are more than one devil that she deals with. Lucifer, there's one Lucifer that is part of media. So the characters are Negan, Carol, Rick, Michonne, Glenn, Shane, Abraham, Judith. These are native names. Now, if I disclose it, you're going to be mortified. It's based off Turkic people. But there's some that are different. For example, when we look at Abraham is a redhead who's a soldier who is part of new soldiers in the United States that are Indian based, because it's Hanna's evolution journal on orangutan. Remember, these are 70 journals all over the place. When we think of Rick, that's actually a bird. And he's the lead character in the story. You see, there's a reason why the devil picked it. And then there's Judith. That's another big one. What about Negan or Negan? That is a journal in itself that is linked to Hanna. Do you see how huge this woman is? Now, when people see the money, you might get a different story. But don't you want to see the real world of what 2 million years of ancestry is? But when we think of The Walking Dead, it's actually linked to war. So some of those events, the probability that it's real, are very, very high and linked to the War of U River. Then we have one of my other favorites, Michonne. If we break down Michonne's name, you get Shah. And Shah are part of the Orthodox Jews that were pushed against the front against Prophet Hanna. So when we think of Negan now, think of Sam. And now, today, there's a street up the street in Markham now. This is Markham, Ontario, right by the Defense Airport. That's Sam's Way. All of these things are linked to Hanna. When we think of Herschel is possibly the noble that was made a girl before he went missing or died. Herschel. Now, it sounds like it's someone wearing a shawl, which is what Hanna wears, with Jewish markings on it. That was in her house that she wore. But it's saying it's her shawl because it is one of the Herschels, hands down, wearing it's his shawl as a female to battle Hanna. So he's converting as the devil, Herschel, to battle Hanna. This is a true story now. Then there's the Terminus Arc. That one's interesting because in the real version, Hanna fights Noah's Ark on the mountain. The boat was placed on my mountain joke. The Terminus Arc. It's the ending of the arc because of woman. There's one clip that shows Michonne with the word Macon. That's another one now. Ma is mother, obviously. Con means to land. But ironically, con could be an abbreviation for convict. So the Americans had the fraudster. This is based off a true story, and it's really sad because they may have killed a beautiful woman in the United States over it. Now, when the kids' heads were placed on stakes, or the people's heads were placed on stakes, hands down, that's Prophet Hanna Media Impacts or her written work. So every time she wrote, it was put into media. And that is why you're not seeing the 35,000 pages, because they actually use it. There's the ocean people, that is also Hanna's work, as the sea people. The lesbianism is the push of Hanna to support women, because women got hammered, which is war history. All these things you would never know about unless someone discloses it. What else? The boomerang concept. That's media people, where they they fling it, for you to build, and then it comes back to media people, which Hanna, in the real version of the story, fired on Illumination, saying, back away. You're in a different country, a different jurisdiction. And they didn't care, as they injured Canada's media people. This was years ago now. This person survived death to be able to give this narrative. This story is very, very long, and so was The Walking Dead, because the devil was following the angel in the story. Then it's Glenn's death, how he died. People died like that across Canada. And, theater sometimes puts things subconsciously into media because it's very powerful. Negan's bat is the Hanna story, because remember, it's a really long story. That's at 4 a.m. when Hanna took a bat to the College of Physicians. The name of the bat is Lucille, which comes from Farsi Lu, which is the female of the devils. If I do the clip on Farsi Lu, it's insane. To cover the track, because a lot was given to Hanna and then retracted and then given back, it's a big fight. They did the comic to pretend the source of The Walking Dead was fully the comic. But if you look at all the names of the characters, they are linked to Turkic people's native names. What else? Now, if we go to the end episode where it loses 94%, based on what this guy is saying, of viewers, because the United States was scrambling with war. This is a real events that happened across Canada and the United States. More interesting facts on the connectivity between the real story and The Walking Dead. So it lost 94% of its viewers, not because the show wasn't good, because of the events that went on with the conflict. Another entry.